What is NSQF? A very important topic, the National Skills Qualification Framework. Now here, initially there were three programs. One was the idea of community college, the second was the idea of bachelor's in vocational degree, and the third was the Kaushal program, which was the knowledge acquisition and upgradation of skills for human abilities and livelihood. All these three programs were summed up as the National Qualification Framework. Moreover, the National Vocational Education Qualification Framework was later on renamed as National Skill Qualification Framework. So moving from vocational education, the name was changed to skill, and this was because we are trying to focus more on skill building and skill enhancement. So how does this NSQF works? It is a kind of competency based framework which is graded on a scale of 1 to 10, and we have the NSOs, which are the National Occupational Systems or National Occupational Standards that are being laid down. These national occupational standards talk about the effective performance, the job role, and the predicted outcomes that are there corresponding to each sector skills, corresponding to the skill building, what should be the occupational standards that should be laid down and that should comply totally with the skill qualification framework is the basic idea. Now, what are the outcomes that have been laid down under the NSQF? So, under the NSQF, some of the important outcomes focus on bringing in a kind of mobility between skill development programs and the programs for general education, recognition of prior learning. Let's say a person has already learned the skill of carpentry, how he could move as a transition from the non-formal to a organized sector. Also, the outcomes should be very much standardized in terms of the training that is being done, and the quality assurance should be very systematic. Development of a skilled workforce is another important aspect that has to be taken into account. How an individual progresses as he tries to learn over the years is the mapping of the progression pathways, and finally, once the skill training is all set, how the approvals actually take into account. So NSQF focuses from level 4 to level 10. Level 4 is a certificate program which lasts for 6 months and is merely 30 credits, which is done immediately after 10 plus 2. The next is the diploma course. Diploma course lasts for 1 year and 60 credits are part of it. Advanced diploma is for 2 years for 120 credits. Bachelor's of vocational, definitely it's a bachelor's program. So it's a 3-year program with 180 credits. Then we have after bachelor's, there is 1 year of diploma which is known as PG diploma, or 2 years of masters which is known as masters of vocational degree. So again, for PG diploma there is 60 credits, and for masters of vocational there are 120 credits. And finally, if you want to move further ahead, there is an option for research level where MPhil PhD degrees would be part of it, which is the level 10. Now, generally what kind of questions are asked are which level belongs to what. So bachelor's of vocational degree belongs to level 7, masters of vocational degree belongs to level 9, and under level 7, that's the bachelor's of vocational degree, you have 180 cumulative credits, which is very important to note. Now again, note that we are talking about a multiple entry and exit system. That means as you proceed with your studies, there is an option of continuously getting into a university and moving on to other university for the remaining degree. So there is option for multiple entry and exit. Even after diploma, you can take a break, go for advanced diploma later on, and same happens with bachelor's and master's program. So this whole curriculum has two elements: general education and skill component. General education focuses on 40% of the weightage. Skill component focuses on 60% of the weightage. General education talks about soft skills, communication skills, knowing about a little about computers, little about environment, little about value education, problem solving, critical thinking. So all those are part of general education. Skill component specifically focuses on employment oriented approach. So what kind of skills could be built up for future employments to be availed, and what should be your domain knowledge, what should be your area of specialization is important. So this whole curriculum is basically approved by Board of Studies or the academic council of a given university. So either it has to get approval through the academic council or through the Board of Studies for the vocational subjects. Now, if the universities does not have a Board of Studies for vocational programs, what would happen? The allied subjects where you have the Board of Studies would be taking this into the curriculum as of now, and later on a Board of Studies would be separately demarcated for the vocational program, and that is how the curriculum and the system actually functions. So if we talk about level 5 to level 7, which is the bachelor's level, what is the process required? How we gain the professional knowledge, the skill, the core skill and the responsibility. So the professional knowledge is what a learner knows and what he should understand as a part of the subject. When we talk about the core skills, it's the basic skills, the dexterity, how fine he can use the materials, the tools, the techniques, the instruments that are there for the building of the IT skills, and for the building of the skills required for the job. And finally, responsibility, which talks about the nature of work relationship that a person has, responsibility for oneself, and accountability for the actions that a person is taking. So those are some of the key elements that we focus on. Now if we look on to the segregation of marks, as we said, 60% for skill component, 40% for educational component. So let's say at degree at a NSQF level 7, which is the bachelor's of vocational program, we have 180 credits that are to be there. So this 180 credits to be completed in 6 semesters, and here you would have 108 credits for skill component, 72 credits for general education. Similarly, for a certificate program, you would have 60%, that is 18 credits for skill component, and remaining 12 credits for general education. Also, there is category 1, 2 and 3. What is the difference? Now, category 1 is a category where the student already has the level 4 NSQF level and has opted for the admission to the higher programs, the diploma, the advanced diploma or the bachelor's of vocational program. This was category 1, category 2 is where the students have already acquired the level 4 of NSQF, but they may likely have an idea to change the skills to a different course. So they want to switch from the existing course to another skill building course, is category 2. And category 3 is 10 plus 2 students who are trying to enter into a vocational program. So that is how we have the program that is being released. Now 1 credit, how do we understand 1 credit? 1 credit talks about 1 hour of teaching, which could be a lecture or a tutorial, or 2 hours of practical work, and equivalent to 1 credit would require 14 to 15 periods of 60 minutes or 30 hours of lab. So that is how we consider the equivalence for the credit course that has to be done by an individual. So it is more of self-learning, self-paced, and the credit weightage is given just for the courses and the programs that are there. Now once you have applied for it, there is the result that is being given on a grade point. So a grade point of 7 indicates B plus and a grade point of 9 indicates A plus, which is excellent. So these are the computation processes for the SGPA, which is the semester grade point average system, or the cumulative of this is CGPA, which is the cumulative grade point average that has to be calculated. Now the CGPA is the summation of the semester grade point system averages that have been attained, and these are rounded to 2 decimal places for better results. The next important thing is the who is the in charge? So vice chancellor is the principal chairperson. He could be the nominee or the principal of the college. Then you also have a chairman of the advisory committee who along with the director is taking the responsibility as the member secretaries. There are two experts who are nominated by the UGC as the chairman, and they are the members of it. There are two other academicians of the relevant field who are the members of it. One nominee from the State Higher Education Council, representations from industries, from relevant sector skill models, director of the Kaushal program as a member secretary, and one nominee member from UGC is part of it. So if we focus on to the three elements that we initially talked about, the community college, the bachelor's of vocational and Kaushal program. So under the community college, the idea is to integrate the skill, bring in more employment opportunities, focus on the school pass outs and how they could be trained, given more opportunities, how there could be a mix of skills that could be developed. So that is part of the community college objectives. As a part of bachelor's of vocational program, the idea is mixing of the skill building, more employment oriented, so that students get adequate knowledge and a chance for better employment. There is also a training for providing vertical mobility within the system. And finally, the Kaushal program has an important objective where research and development is part of it. After finishing the school or the degree, there could be supplementary modular training programs that could be part of the Kaushal program. Recognition of prior learning, that means what skills you already have should be recognized, and based on that, job opportunities should be provided. Also, labor market information should be provided to the individual candidates, and proper coordination of activities should be done to develop the curriculum and to develop the skill building. So those were part of the developments that we have seen as part of the National Skill Qualification Framework. Very important for your NET examination, and also we have seen numerous questions this time from NSQF talking about the levels and the related degrees that would be awarded with that level. We would be covering many more interesting lectures, and more detailed programs and lectures for your NET paper 1 are available in the link below, where we have covered those in our online complete sessions. So just follow the links below. Have a wonderful day ahead.